Hey Cluckers, welcome back to the channel. We're here again, Alton Towers, and the home park. Now, you've got to say, as a fan of Alton Towers, Bianca Sammet has been a great importance to the park. She's really changed it up so much. I don't know the lady, don't follow her on social media, she doesn't follow me, anything like that. But what I do know, she does watch a lot of content from small YouTubers, content creators, and I think that's really nice. So I thought, come up with a bit of an idea. Run a poll on Instagram with the one thing you would change at the park to make an improvement. Throw it all together in a video and hope she watches it. If she watches it and makes one change, just imagine how amazing that would be. So, let's see what you've got. I'll give you my change. One thing I do to improve this park in a bit, but we've got plenty of your ideas and your suggestions coming up. So we've made it outside Oblivion, and my worst nightmare is happening just above our heads. So yeah, it looks like Oblivion has broken down. Could be worse, it could have been literally on the precipice of the drop, but it's close enough. I would not want to be in that situation myself. Oof, no, not for me that. Not for me at all. I've got a few really good ideas and points of view with Oblivion. I'm going to be honest, not a favourite of mine. But we've got some really good ideas. Theme Park Photoshop suggests adding some mirrors in the tunnel and some black light strobes, make a really trippy experience. It needs some kind of change. I do like mist, I really like that, and I'm glad it is here permanently, every day instead of just particular days. But it just needs so much more. This is such a disappointing experience for me. Coaster Izzy raises a really good point. I think I put this on the channel before, to be fair, but it's that they just need to put more effort in, really, when it comes to the aesthetics, keeping up the appearances of the rides, especially in X Sector. And I have to agree, I've said it before and I'll say it again, while this isn't dropping, while it's broken down, let's have a look at some of the stuff that needs work on. This portal door here needs work. You know, it's not, a lot of this stuff isn't hard. Adding a bit of paint, painting things up. Well, they've done it with the hole, and that's great. Look at this. Look at this here. So yeah, I pointed this out before, but just a hole in this area here. This, I mean, you see where a piece of wood has just fell off there, not been replaced or painted over. This here, once again, another hole. Yeah, this has probably been here since Oblivion opened, probably, and it's just never had any work done. It's all well and good kind of painting bits up, making things look vibrant, and then leaving other things completely for no reason. It's just sad. It's a shame, really. It's really nice. They painted up the hole, got the misters on properly, but then you look at other parts of the exact same ride area, and, you know what I mean, look at this paintwork here. I mean, it's just such a shame. Sometimes we've got a great park with some world-class attractions. They just need to put that effort into the finishing touches. I mean, the second biggest theme park company in the world. Come on. Oh, thank you. I would not like to be stuck up there. I definitely wouldn't. So we're over in X Sector, as you can see. We're in a bit of the area that was actually closed off before. Here are the gates. It was closed off earlier in the season. Now that's because it used to be two flat rides. It used to be Enterprise and Submission years ago. Retro Squad rides stood here recently. Since they've gone, this area was just closed off and there was nothing happening. They have put some kind of stand-up food and drink beverage areas here for now, but usually this is empty land. That's given Mark BTV an incredible idea. He thinks they should put in a good log flume here. And I have to agree, Alton Towers is known for a log flume. It was a major part of my childhood. And yeah, we couldn't have a major one that big here. We had a little one, like you get kind of, like Port Park has done recently. Perfect in weather like this. You could theme it to the Ministry of Joy somehow. And I think it'd be great. I'd love some more water rides in the park, especially a log flume. And this is the perfect amount of space for one. Would be stupid while I'm here not to do single riders on the Smiler, so lovely day for it. Let's get on the Smiler, eh? Okay, so looks like we're not getting a ride on the Smiler. It broke down just as we got to the front. Held us in the queue for about 20 minutes. And then said it's going to take longer than they think. So they've entered the whole queue line now, which is a bit of a shame. Brings me to a very good point somebody made. And the one thing they would change, and that is theme park thrills. And they said ride availability, and it's a good point. So I've just come out of the Smiler broken down. You can't help the odd ride breakdown. It happens. It's your safety. You know what I mean? You don't want them running it all the time with no safety involved. But I got on that one. Oblivion was closed, wasn't it? You know what I mean? So everything in X sector is now closed. I looked at the app, Nemesis Reborn's down, and Subterra as well. So there's certainly something to be said, really, about ride availability. For me, who lives, you know what I mean, half hour away, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I can come back another time and get on all the rides. But if this is your one trip over half term, and you've got in a queue and it's broke down for Oblivion, then you've got in the Smiler queue, it's broken down, you're thinking of going and doing Nemesis Subterra, it's closed. I mean, your day is really affecting. If this is your one trip this time of the year, and you're thinking about coming back summer, straight away you put off. And you know what I mean, some people only come once a year, and if this is your experience, you're going to go to a different theme park, aren't you? So we made it outside Her Ladyship's Gardens in the Tower Ruins. Got a great one here from Ollie CS310, who says the scare maze that you usually hold here, the attic, keep it open all year round, charge and upcharge. And I think, never thought of it myself, but I think it's a great idea. That one has so much history to it, so much story. It worked really well with Hex, which is on this side, and you come out this side. So I think it's perfect. I think there's a great story, some great scares, and I think a permanent scare maze here would be brilliant. You got the dungeons, so why not have a permanent scare maze here? Good one, I like that. So I've made it over to the top right corner of the park, I assume, where David Walliams' World, Burger Kitchen and the dungeons are. We've got a couple of different points, really good ones from a few different people. And I'm going to throw my 50 cents in. So I've got to be honest, the London dungeons. No! Not the London dungeons, because these ain't the London ones. These are the Alton dungeons. But yeah, the Alton dungeons, they're not bad. They're a good experience. It's a shame they're an upcharge. I understand why, because there's a lot in them. But what I'd rather see, get rid. We're all about nostalgia here at the park. Nemesis Reborn, potentially Ripsaw, Nemesis Subterra back. Let's have Toyland Tours back. Let's be honest, Toyland Tours was incredible. It was one of the best rides in the UK. So yeah, I'd love to see this gone. Toyland Tours put back in. Make it happen, please. Make it happen. But we have got a really good one from Coaster Credits. Now they say, get rid of David Walliams' World, get rid of the Dungeons, Burger Kitchen. It's got a massive amount of room. You really have. Why don't you put in a medieval area? And I thought, wow, that's a really good idea, because the ruins, the tower's ruins, are literally right next to it. So, you know, got a perfect backdrop there for your theming. It doesn't have to be major, you know what I mean? But there's a good lot of room to put in dark rides, a coaster, stuff like that. So you could do so much here with this land. And I just feel like David Walliams' land isn't great. the dungeons can't be that busy, and to be honest, we've already got one burger kitchen. Yeah, this is an indoor one. Don't need to. It's not all bad news though for the dungeons, to be fair. We have got one person saying something potentially positive. So Theme Park Thrills, they're saying please just reduce the price. They've heard good things about it, especially at the end. I've got to be honest, I think there's quite a few different... I like the dungeons, I like the chain, I like doing them all. We've done quite a few of them now on the channel, and I think they're great. The boat riding here is pretty decent. You've got the end with the witch is brilliant. The judge scene's always a laugh as well. Yeah, they're quite good, you know what I mean? I do think they're good. But yeah, when you've come to a park and you've paid a lot of money to get into the park, the last thing you want to do is pay even more money to do an upcharge. And yeah, it's a good length, you know what I mean? This is probably one of the better upcharges out there. But yeah, it's still an upcharge. So, Thrills and Food Robin, she's suggesting adding a land train into the park. And I'll be honest, the paths are wide enough for a land train. Whether it be permanent or just while they are fixing the sky ride, it would be ideal, you know what I mean? Getting from one side of the park to the other is a real chore now. It's a real task, and especially for your disabled customers, your customers aren't great on their feet. We be a guest like myself, it is a trek. One of these videos is so hard to do because I'm running from one side of the park to the other over and over all day. It's a lot. And where you had the sky ride before, you could get from here over to Forbidden Valley, and then from Forbidden Valley back to the entrance with no troubles at all. Now you're having to walk, and it's not great. So yeah, I think a land train would be a really good idea. They're doing that quite a few little places where you just get on, it drives around the park, and there's plenty of room on the path. So yeah, I think that's a great idea, Robin. So I made it outside the dark forest where Rita and 13 currently lie. Got a couple of different opinions from you guys about things you would change about the dark forest. First of all, Coaster Cray Cray, they were saying, look, ultimately, great idea, but I just wish there was more theming, more emphasis on the unluckiness of everything. So you have got the ladders about, you know what I mean? You could have magpies about, you could have broken glass mirrors, stuff like that about. Just needs more theming, and I think that is a general thing. So whether you go with the idea of unluckiness or something like that, at the moment, just feels its name is very similar to Gloomy Woods. Let's be honest, it's got the same name as Gloomy Woods pretty much. Gloomy Woods, Dark Forest, very similar. Theming wise, there's not a lot to tell the two apart either, and that is the shame. Radrad's Ride backs this up by saying it reminds me of Ugland, and let's be honest, this whole area was Ugland, and while the coasters, well, at least 13 does stand out as a separate thing altogether, they haven't done a lot to Rita, and let's be honest, there wasn't a lot, and it didn't fit massively into Ugland anyway, but the area is still very reminiscent of Ugland. Not a lot has changed, and it's a shame. I used to love Ugland when I was a kid. It was an amazing place to go and see. I loved all the dinosaur bits and pieces, so I really enjoyed it. Lotson says the Dark Forest is where they need to be kind of focusing their attention. It needs changing. And to be honest, I like Forbidden Valley. X Sector has its charms. This is the one. This is for me the area of the park that needs attention, needs love. It needs something picking, a theme picking, and just following that completely and not cheapening out. So I've made it outside, and Rita, the Queen of Speed, well, the ex-Queen of Speed. Great idea here from Scary Cat Rides, although we might fall out of this one. So they say, swap out Rita for a much better launch coaster with a good theme. For example, something about like a witch or something. Now, I'm conflicted about this one, so for me, I think Rita is a good launch coaster. I think nothing beats that launch. It's still one of the most intense things about this theme park, and I love it. I think it's great. But yeah, theming is lacklustre, poor at best. So it could do with maybe some retheming, changing up those cars for, I don't know, like sidecars like Hagrid or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, you're onto something with the we change it up. There's not a lot with the room they can do more than they've already done, I'm going to be honest, so we probably couldn't change the coaster too much. But yeah, I like Rita. I think it needs to stay, but it does need a big retheme, really. Quite a big retheme. So I'm here in the Dark Forest, towards the back where the roller coasters aren't. At the old resting spot of what used to be roller disco. So this was a waltzer, part of the retro squad. It was nice just to have it here as an added extra flat ride. It brings me on to a point that so many people sent me off the back of me asking the question, what was the one thing you would change here at Alton Towers? They said flat rides, or the lack of flat rides at the moment. So yeah, Potting Park says Kira would love roller disco to come back. I'm right, I'm with her. I would love at the waltzer to be back. I thought it was a nice little ride. Wasn't too intense as some waltzers can be, but it was something all the family could do that wasn't a roller coaster, and you weren't going to wait an hour for it, you know what I mean? And I think that's the problem. So many people highlighted just how many flat rides this park doesn't have anymore, you know what I mean? So many people saying to me, the one thing I would change is bring flat rides back, and that was the majority of them. I'll pop some up now, but so many messages about bringing flat rides in instead of taking them away. We've seen a lot leave recently. Like I say, they added the retro squad in to say that they needed more flat rides, even if they were just temporary, and we had 3 of those for a few years. Well, they've gone, and no flat rides have kind of come in their place. At the same time, Enterprise left as well, so Enterprise has sat in Forbidden Valley not Forbidden Valley, in X Sector for a long time. You know what I mean? It was one of the oldest attractions here, and that's just gone. Yes, I do admit, Project Ocean, that's probably a flat ride, but one, still quite a way away from having enough in the park, in my opinion, and it looks like you guys agree. So yeah, while we're on the subject, Judd Ventures came up with a great idea for where to put these flat rides, and he identified, look, there's loads of open space, loads of room in the park that's been not used, or just got a couple of benches there, and he says, look, if you put something in there, people ride it, you know what I mean? People are dying for some flat rides, like I said before. Put something in there, fill those areas up. He also says we need a world-class dart ride, and I always would love an extra dart ride, but I think he is definitely forgetting we already have one. Let's go do it now. So we're outside the Curse, I think world class. The ride system itself, no, it's not a trackless dart ride or anything like that. It's just a very bog standard dart ride, but the effects in there are brilliant. I think it's great. I'm gonna get on it because you know what? Every time at Towers, I like to do at least one ride on the Curse at Alton Manor. So let's head in there. So one thing Joseph S. Carter would change about Alton Towers is he would add in more dark rides. Now, I love a dark ride, but it all depends what level of quality we get with dark rides. Curse-wise, if we're getting 2 or 3 more like Curse, or even just 1 more like Curse, yes please, put them in all day. But if I'm getting the level of quality of Gangster Grand, don't bother Towers. I'm all for a dark ride. I love dark rides. They're probably my favourite type of rides. But when they're done well, they're beautiful. When they're done poorly, they are slogs. So I've got faith in Towers that they will produce good ones. So yeah, give us some more. Give us some more Towers. So I made it outside where Dark Steps usually is, to bring a couple of bits about Scarefest. We had a couple of people. Jack the Hat 91 said, change up Scarefest. It's one of them that's become very, very samey. Even the newest maze last year was a re-theme of an old maze. It didn't feel any different to me. I've got to be honest, they seemed to add an extra bit of story to it that didn't seem to go anywhere, in my personal opinion. And I think that was, if it was me, I'd be getting rid of Skin Snatchers completely. That whole area would be changing. Needs a big change up. Same with this. I love Dark Steps. I think it's one of the better ones. It's perfect for families, and the effects are brilliant. But it's been the same old. the attic, where I give the attic a pass because it uses the tower as the real history, and it uses a great story, and I'd like to see it come back year after year. This one kind of unfortunately doesn't. Now, GC coasters and stuff, she's saying 2023 Scarefest was better. There were some different bits, and I've got to be honest, yeah, I really enjoyed Daz Games as well. It was a lot of fun. The free scare walkthrough by Wickerman was really good as well. But yeah, she would like to see some changes, as would I. And we might be getting some. We've heard a lot of rumours about new areas being signed off, new buildings for potentially new scare mazes. So fingers crossed, we'll be bringing you updates in the future about some new scare mazes, maybe some reviews as well. So I'm getting hungry and I've decided to stop off at the Burger Kitchen outside Wickerman. So I've decided to stop off for a bit of lunch, and got to be honest, comment after comment were about food prices, food quality. Now normally I'd head over to the nacho stand. The nachos are really nice, I've got to be honest, they're very good. And they're not a bad price at all, to be fair. I'd say, look, if you're looking for food and you don't mind like pulled pork or chili nachos, pop over there, get them, they're really nice. So I've gone off the tracks today. I've gone for Burger Kitchen, and I've gone for a burger meal here. £18 before discount for a regular meal, and some mozzarella dippers because I fancy them. You know what, it's expensive, isn't it? For one meal, £18. You're forced to have chips. You know, if you just wanted to, personally, I'd have just had a burger, drink mozzarella dippers, and that would have been enough. But you have to have the chips as a combo option. I did ask if I could swap them, and they said it's not something they're allowed to do. The staff are really nice. One of them did draw my order number on my drink. So yeah, little things like that do make your day, I guess. But yeah, food prices are ridiculous. Yeah, very bog standard burger, very plain, standard tasting, standard ingredients. Tastes a bit cheap, to be fair. I think I've hit a winning jackpot here, so I ordered mozzarella dippers as an extra. I got chicken tenders instead. Now, I don't know what the price difference is, but let's be honest, mozzarella sticks are $3.75. Surely the chicken's going to be more. Bit of a bonus there. I'm not going to complain because it's worked out in my favour for once. But yeah, there's the offending chips as well. I'm not a chips fan, especially these kind of chips. So I actually feel bad ragging on the chips. The chips are actually quite nice. The chips are nice. The burger was bad. The burger was poor for the price. The chips are actually alright. But yeah, just like Coaster Clove says, food costs are the problem. Food costs really are. The price for this meal, ridiculous. Adventure Dale says the one thing she would change up on Park is the food provider and the price. And I've got to agree, you know, the price of the food is dear. And the quality is really poor in a lot of the restaurants around here. Eastern Express you don't get a discount with, but the food is actually really nice, and that's because it isn't Aramark. So I guess the non-Aramark producers are good. You know what I mean? We go to some of the other Merlin parks. I've got to be honest, Thorpe Park has it nailed right, so their producers are Burger King, KFC. You can't go wrong with them, can you? They've got some like pop-up places. We love the samosas that they do. They're amazing, and the onion bhajis, so we really recommend them. Normally we don't try and eat in the Merlin theme parks just because of the reputation of Aramark, and you know what I mean, so we avoid. So we went to Chessington the other week and we tried to avoid eating anything major. We stopped off in like the Costa that they've got. It's Costa food, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's going to be decent quality. Last time I went Legoland, we didn't eat in the park. We just waited till we'd finished, and it was a long day and had to have snacks and stuff. But, you know what I mean? It's just the impression you get from Aramark. So, when you go to Thorpe Park and it's branded food, it is much better. I wish Alton Towers kind of worked more on that basis, and we had Burger King and KFC instead of Burger Kitchen and Just Chicken. Posting like crazy puts it best and just says one word: food. Let's be honest, you come to a theme park and there's going to be several times in a full day that you're going to want to go and get something to eat, whether it's a full meal or a snack. And like I say, the nachos here I quite like. I tried the hot dog last time over somebody's kind of review, and I enjoyed that, but it was dear for what it was, I'm going to be honest. Some of the snacks over by the Curse are delicious, and once again, price. Then a lot of the other things I'd completely avoid. Normally, whenever I come to the park, I bring my own packed lunch. So earlier in the vlog we were talking about ride availability. It's a lovely day today, middle of half term. Congo River Rapids are down, not great, so we've had some big downtime with Smiler, Oblivion, Nemesis, down River Rapids. I've made it outside the Congo River Rapids, and just behind me you can see bits of the old flume, iconic attraction here, Alton Towers. And Coaster Chloe agrees. She says she has so many happy memories riding the flume. For me it was terrifying, for her a lot of fun, and she'd like to see another similar ride back here. It was at one point the world's largest log flume as well, so it did hold a big title. And I agree, we'd love to see more water rides, more flat rides in the park. It's really nice though to see this here, a little bit of a reminder of a classic ride. So, I've made it over to Galactica, one of the more underloved parts of the park, one of the more underloved roller coasters. Got a few ideas here from you guys of what we can do with Galactica coming up in the future. Jazzy Hearts Coasters says, just knock it down. And they don't say what they want to do with the land, but a lot of people do not like this ride at all. I love it. Coaster Glitch has a different solution to the Galactica issue, and they see it just needs a retheme. I have to agree, I've got to be honest, like when you see when it was air, some of the concept art for what it would have looked like to match Forbidden Valley's vibes and the Nemesis vibes, it's a real shame that it just never did that, it never got that. And I guess when it got the Galactica retheme, which let's be honest was the VR headset and the portal, it didn't really get anything different, it didn't get anything new apart from the VR experience. And let's be honest, that's not a retheme really. It needs that theme now, it needs the portal going, it needs just something to tie it in to Nemesis Reborn. You've got a really cool, lovely new area. Get it all themed up. Now, someone who has given a solution to what you do once you knock it down is 03 Abask. Sorry if I pronounced that one wrong. They say they want an in-twin multi-launch coaster in this area. But now, you can get a lot in here, I think. There's a lot of area here with Galactica. So yeah, that would be quite a cool idea. It'd be a good idea, a good roller coaster, I think, in this area. Intimate and smashing up roller coaster experiences at the moment. So yeah, make it happen, Towers. I could get on board. So I'm going to head into the coffee shop here. Ground Coffee, I think it's called. Ground Operation Coffee, I can't remember. I'm coming out the back entrance. Apparently there is a Nemesis beer in here to collect. So, limited edition beer purchased, and that brings me nicely on to crafts and credits point about wishing Alton Towers would do more themed beers and ales. And I think it's a good idea. These the first set they did on opening day flew off the shelves. These are new as well. There's only 2,000 of these, and the one I've just picked up is 1,086. So you know what I mean, they are pretty limited. So we've just come out of Ground Command Coffee where we've managed to get one of the Nemesis beers. Love side there, definitely. Reminds me though, it is a Costa, so it's got some food options, some sandwiches and wraps and stuff. But it brings me on to a point from RJ7872 who says, among more diverse flat rides, which we've covered before, more indoor food options, and let's be honest, this park is lacking that to a degree. You have got a few of these kind of Costa style pop-ups. You've got this, you've got Corner Coffee at the very entrance on Tower Street. Apart from that, you've got a burger kitchen, which isn't good, a Just Chicken, and the last one is there's like a nice little food area over in CBeebies, and where you get jacket potatoes and pastas, but apart from that, on a rainy day, there isn't a lot of places to actually get something to eat. It's great on a day like today to pop over to Eastern Express or one of the other numbers of kind of places where you can grab a quick to-go snack or food item. But yeah, there's just not enough indoor food places. So yeah, great point there, great point. Let's get some more of them. Oh. So we just come off another ride on Nemesis Reborn. I think it's a great coaster. All the little bits of theming really add to it. It is a bit rattly, it is a bit rough, and that brings me over to a great point from Intermin enthusiast who's asking Alton Towers to just get some smoother coaster experiences. I'm in two minds about this. I 13 is smooth, and there's any issues with it. This one is a bit rattly since the retrack. Still a great ride, still super intense. Smiler, rattly and rough. Yeah, I mean, Wickerman, that's the appeal of a wooden coaster, so, you know what I mean, maybe some more coasters is always good news, and definitely smoother Intermin style roller coasters, let's be honest. But I think there's some perfect coasters as it is, but we'd always say yes to another coaster or two. So I've decided to come off the known tracks onto the more unknown roads here at Alton Towers for this controversial opinion I've got here. This one comes from Stealth Fan YT, and he says one thing he'd change about the park is the creatives involved, especially John Burton. Unfairly, I think, but he says John Burton couldn't design a paper bag, and let alone an attraction, and I don't know, I think that's a bit harsh. I think Curse is great, you know what I mean, Nemesis Reborn area is brilliant. What I don't like about the things John Burton seems to do is he always seems to get his name or some initials in the project somewhere, so, you know what I mean, I've covered previously that in the Gangster Granny ride, his initials are on one of the bus stops. There's plenty of John Burton Easter eggs on Curse, Reborn even, Mandrill Mayhem. Seems to be everywhere that he's had his hands on, so maybe kind of stop putting your name out so much. But I do think that's a bit unfair, actually. So, I'm taking a leisurely stroll through the gardens now. I usually like to take a stroll every so often, because they do look really nice. Currently, kind of stuck with it because the sky ride above us just isn't working this season. It's down like it was last year. You really do feel that, unfortunately. I'll tell you one set of people that definitely do feel it, and that's the disabled. Great point from Skaterboy696. The thing he would change about the park is that he would change the wrap system. So it was obviously very new, the wrap system was this year. It's weirdly enough, all the Burnie parks do something a bit different, so everyone handles it different. Now, Lindsay, she won't mind me saying, last season was a poor season for her. She struggles with her back. She's got a medical, like a well-known medical condition that I can't pronounce the name of. I'm not even going to try. But it wasn't something she ever thought, oh, I need a disability pass or anything like that for. So we'd come to theme parks and she'd probably get on one or two rides at the start of the day, and that'd be her. The rest of the day she'd be out. Long queues, big walks, stuff like that would cut her out. At the start of the season this year, got talking to one of her other theme park friends who is a wrap user and said, look, I think you're entitled to it, so we've applied. We've used it a few times now at different parks. Alton Towers seems to be the weirdest one, so you have to reserve a wrap first of all before your park trip. They say 2 weeks in advance, but I'm going to be honest, some of the times we've come to look weeks in advance and they've gone, so she was going to come Hyperion, couldn't get a wrap for it. First week of opening weekend Alton Towers couldn't get a wrap. There was like a whole month period at some point where all the wrap was sold out already, and I couldn't understand why. So you really do have to kind of, to get in, there can't be any kind of last minute, oh, I fancy a trip to Alton Towers or Thorpe Park or whatever. So that needs change, first of all. I know that there's got to be some kind of limitation here, otherwise everyone just has a terrible experience. But I can deal with a long queue as such. It's for Lindsay, it's how far she's walking around normal queues, and that the beauty of the wrap is that you don't walk those queues. So I guess if you're timed out for 2 hours, you're timed out for 2 hours. It doesn't matter, does it? You know what I mean? At least you aren't walking those queues. It's people like that who are really struggling with this new system where they can't kind of book. But then each park has their own weird way of using it. So we did get wrap at Legoland, we did get it at Chessington recently. They have an app and it works really well. You know what I mean? Like for booking the rides and stuff like that. It's a bit weird in some regards. Minifigure Speedway, with it being brand new, was very odd, and we struggled to get one for ages, and all of a sudden just got one. But I think using the technology is the best. Otherwise, you have to use a paper card here and you have to get the card signed, and just some discrepancy. Sometimes the queue said like 20 minutes, you marked down as 5. You know what I mean? And that works in your favour, but it doesn't always. You know, sometimes you've got to complain as well and go, hang on, I didn't wait anywhere near that length of time. So yeah, the wrap system is definitely something they need to look at, to be fair to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, we've not used wrap before, we've only used it this season. I can't compare it against how it used to work. I can only go by what I see. And there was a few different people saying the wrap system needs changing up. Like I say, we've experienced lots of times where we'd love to just turn up Alton Towers, my local park, and I do turn up. But Lindsay couldn't do that and have a good day. She stopped doing it last year because, you know what I mean, she was doing 1 or 2 rides and still got that issue now. So yeah, I'm with you, Skaterboy696. Have a look at that wrap system, please, Alton Towers, and get it sorted. Not just Alton Towers, Merlin as a whole. It's got to be a better way, fairer way for all. Top point from Nemesis 19394. They're saying what they change about the park is crowd control. Now, on a quieter day, no issues at all with this park. You can travel around it. It's not as easy now, there's no Scarefest, but you know what I mean. I think where it comes problems is when there's something big happening. We were here at Nemesis opening and it was chaos. It was genuine chaos. People going here, there and everywhere, queue jumpers, all that. And it was mad. You always get a stampede every year, fireworks. Last year, for sure, people trying to rush to get over to Nemesis because they assumed something was going on. It was madness, honestly, absolute madness. So yeah, I think kind of when Towers does events and busy days and stuff like that, they just don't plan ahead. There's no planning by the look of it, because it does just become chaos. So I made it outside with command to feed the flames. I'm going to get into it in a minute. But before I do, great time to bring up a point. It's 5 o'clock now. It is a peak day, so we're open a bit later, 6 o'clock. And that brings me over to Coast Bricks 97, who says longer opening hours on off-peak days. 4 p.m. doesn't seem long enough. Now, I'm going to throw in an extra here. Longer days on peak days as well, like today, 6 o'clock. It's a beautiful sunny day here, Alton Towers. They could easily open till, you know what I mean, 8, 9 o'clock today. And yeah, I'm totally with you on off-peak days. I come quite a lot, and you know, 10 till 4 isn't a long time at all at a theme park. You could easily boost it. Now they do say, oh, there isn't the numbers, there isn't the people that want to stay. But to be honest, 20 minutes till closing here and there's still plenty of people. There's still an hour-long queue you're on with command, so you know what I mean? I think there is a market for later. A lot of other European parks open a lot later, so what are you doing early? Are your parks open later? So yeah, we're going to give a bit of a feed of the flames now. It's been a while since I've been on with command, to be fair. just come off a great ride on Wicker Man, always a big fan. That brings me to my next point. Something theme park dude reviews would change about Alton Towers, and that's the price for general admission. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm an annual pass holder, so maybe out of touch with this one. So I did some research while I was in the 40-minute queue for Wicker Man. So, if we're looking at next week, I've looked at next Saturday on the website for a fair few different theme parks in the UK. Alton Towers, £39 if you book online today for next Saturday. How does that compare then? So, it's not the cheapest in Merlin, it's not the most expensive either. Thorpe Park, £45, so Thorpe Park is a lot more expensive. But cheapest Chessington World of Adventures, £32. And you've got Legoland, same prices here, so I mean, they're not. It's not the most expensive Merlin park to come to, even though I think it's probably one of the better ones. And it's not the cheapest either, so it fits quite nicely in the middle. But how does it compare to other parks in the franchise? It's actually one of the cheaper. I think all the Merlin parks tend to be quite cheap in comparison. So I've looked at Drake Manor. Drake Manor is the exception. So Drake Manor is £35 next Saturday if you pre-book now. Holtons Park, £42.50. Blackpool Pleasure Beach, £39, so a similar price once again to Alton Towers. And the most expensive I saw was Flamingo Land, which is £49.75. So I'd say if you're comparing it to other theme parks, yes, there are plenty of kind of smaller parks like Gulliver's, like Fantasy Island, where you pay a very nominal fee or you pay per ride and it's free entry. But as a theme park, I think it's one of the cheaper parks about, and it offers a lot for that money. So I've got to be honest, maybe we all want to see a bit of a cheaper price. Cost of living crisis, we want to see cheaper entry. So I'm going to still throw this in here and say, look, if you can lower the price, please do. But I think on the whole, for the package it offers against other parks in the UK, I think it's a good deal. You know what I mean? It's as cheap as most of the other Merlin parks, apart from Thorpe Park, which I don't think is anywhere near as good as Towers. There you go. Another great shout out from Photo Theme Parks, this one. They'd like to see, the one change they'd like to see here at Alton Towers is more events for enthusiasts and fans, and you know what I mean? They're throwing in, I'm going to throw it in again. We went to Bolton's Park fan event a couple of weeks ago, and I've got to be honest, it was absolutely incredible. They put on such a great event. It was free for the fans, and I guess it did amazing stuff for their park, social media wise. For that whole week, that's all we saw, people throwing vlogs or posts up. It's a nice little, like, I guess even a reward to kind of vloggers and content creators that have been throwing up how much they love the park and kind of driving that message of come and visit this park to other people. But let's say, we're always here at Alton Towers, we're always vlogging Alton Towers, and there's plenty of other content creators who've ran into it, a fair few as we've gone around today. And let's be honest, they drive a footfall onto the park. You see an event like this on somebody else's channel. I've seen people do vlogs of the CBeebies Land vlog at this event, and they get like 3,000, 4,000 views, and these are like really small channels. People are seeing that. People are bringing their kids down for half term that may not have bothered beforehand. So yeah, I think Alton Towers could definitely do a thank you event for people like that, instead of kind of, when they do these opening events, they invite minor celebrities and stuff, and I think it'd be just nice to pay it forward to the same kind of way that I guess Thorpe Park recently did with Hyperia, and getting kind of people like Dominic Gardner and Jack Silkstone on the first ride before anyone else did, and testing it out, and just shows like a little bit of support, that people see the work that content creators, not myself, but there are plenty of them that create incredible photography, reels, vlogs, all that kind of stuff, that drive kind of support and drive interest to the parks. So yeah, Alton Towers, stop doing these VIP events where you have to pay £100 and just get a photo with someone. Come on, do an event for free for the fans, invite some down, show them a good time, and it'll pay off in the long run, I promise. So that draws an end to my day here at Alton Towers, going through all your one thing you would change about Alton Towers, and I've had some great options. Now I've left one till last minute, and I'll show you why in a moment. So park is now officially closed. Now this comes from Orel Coasters, I hope I pronounced that right, I'm sorry if I haven't. And it's about transport to and from the park. They just wish there was more transport. Now, obviously I'm walking towards pick-up point where the wife's going to pick me up, but normally I would have to get either a taxi or a bus if I was lucky. Now, I say if I was lucky, there is a bus stop here, but the amount of buses that run to and from Alton Towers is poor, unfortunately, and I just feel like you'd get more people if you could work with a bus company and provide much more regular transport. Like I say, usually there's one, maybe two buses from various places. It's just not great. It's poor. So I'm with you really on this one. Improve the transport links to the park. You know what I mean? It works really well at Thorpe where you've got a bus service that's stopping there all the time. Same at Chessington. I know we're in the middle there of, you know what I mean, London towns, but easier to do. But let's be honest, you get a bus link here where it's definitely needed, you're going to boost your attendance. Bit of food for thought there. Like I said, it's been some amazing points. Thank you to everyone that got involved on my Instagram over at Coaster Chicken. Once again, next time we do a video like this, if you want to get involved, I'll let you know. Pop over to Instagram, give us a follow. It's coaster_chicken. If you've enjoyed the video today, please like, share, subscribe. And you know what? I'll catch you again soon.